I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Today, we're going to be talking about new driver advice. I want to welcome you in. I'm a driving instructor in the west part of the United States of America. Our learning target for success, driving advice. I'm your instructor. I want to welcome you in. Testing in progress. Let's get started. New driver advice. A lot of beginning drivers do a lot of traffic light driving at first. What does this mean? You stay in your neighborhoods. You don't really go outside of your general area because you're not comfortable yet. You don't drive on the main roads. You drive on the side streets. You're making right turns in your neighborhood. You're making left turns in your neighborhood. It takes time to feel comfortable. And I understand that as an instructor. So I'm going to be giving you some tips as new drivers to help you be successful. Next, watch your mom drive. Watch your dad drive. Watch me in my tutorials when I go live, when I do in car, in class, when I upload a lot of small clips. These clips can help you with parallel parking, merging on the expressway, dealing with left turns, because my job is to make sure all of you are safe. And when you're safe, you're going to be more successful. What is the learning target? Success. New drivers. I'm your instructor. Testing in progress. I want to welcome you in. We're talking about new drivers. This could be teens. This could be someone 25, 27, 39, 40. A new driver is a new driver, and this information can definitely help you. Let me continue. I need you to continue to study yield and right-of-ways at intersections. Intersections are the most dangerous place. When you prepare to take your road test, you're going to have to go through intersections. You're going to have to make right turns. You're going to have to look at traffic to the left, traffic to the right. When it's clear, hey, how are you? When it's clear, you're going to have to execute a correct hand-over-hand turn. And based on the National Highway Safety Transportation System, hand-over-hand turns, where you're turning hand-over-hand into the turn and hand-over-hand out, is the safest when you're making a right turn, when you're pulling into a driveway, and when you're parallel parking. There is more than one way to turn the steering wheel. By a show of hands, do you turn hand over hand? You can type that in. Or do you turn hand to hand? Some of you may try to drive with one hand. Some of you may do two. Some of you might even try to drive with your knee, right? Hey, Kyle, how are you? Hopefully you're doing good. Kyle, hopefully you're supporting me. You're subscribing. You're learning. And tell me where you are in your journey. Do you have your license? Are you getting ready for your road test, right? I have more than 10 more days. Yay, Kyle. Kyle, look at all the content. I'm going over road test prep right now. This will definitely help you, and make sure you subscribe. I want to continue. Thank you, Kyle. So you got to know yield the right of way. Let's use Kyle as the example. He's going to be getting ready to take his road test. Kyle needs to work on rules of the right of way. He's got to come up to an intersection and stop for 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. After Kyle stops, he looks left, he looks right. If it's clear, he goes straight or he makes his turn. Kyle needs to work on parallel parking. How do you do this? In your neighborhood, you can parallel park in front of your house. If your parents will put the car out in front of the house, you can use trash cans. Kyle and everyone else, what I need all of you to do is practice. Let's pretend this car is parked. You line up next to the car, you reverse back at a 45 angle, and you reverse in. You have to know how to parallel park. If you don't know how to parallel park, you won't pass your road test. You need to be able to execute a left turn, coming up to the middle of the intersection, yielding to oncoming traffic. When clear, you turn in the nearest lane. Let's continue. Advice for new drivers. I want you to use the big 5 strategies when driving. First, concentrate No phone, no text. Okay. Hey, M, how are you? Leave some comments. Make sure you subscribe. I got some really good things coming for your road test. It's nice to see all of you. I need you to look into your turns. And if you're making a right turn, I need to see you turning hand over hand and look to your right. If you're making a left turn, I need to see you turn hand over hand and look to your left. Those of you who are my former students, pretend I'm your road tester. You know you're going to pass, but I have to see you look where you're going. If you're making a left, look to the left. If you're making a right, look to the right. If you're merging on the expressway, check your mirror, turn signal, blind spot. You've got to be able to execute this. And all of you who are my former students, of course, nothing but love, but I want you to pass your test. And then I want you to say, I got my license and thank you. I'm humbled and appreciative, but also I'm going to educate more students. So you guys stay on for a little while longer. Next, look when you're turning. If you're making a left, look to the left. You're making a right, look to the right. I'm showing you what you should do. If you're backing up, even though you have a backup camera, look out your back window because you don't want to hit a car. You're going to want to run over a little kid. This is real. Next, if you are changing lanes, mirror, turn signal, blind spot. Check your center mirror, turn on your turn signal, look over your shoulder. A lot of beginners forget that sequence and you lose a couple points. Every state is different. Okay, here in the Midwest where I'm from, you can get up to 24 errors. After 24 errors, you fail. You're sad. You cry. Your mom and dad are like, what happened? I ran a light. I was going too fast. I went in the wrong lane. I made a right turn on red. If I said some of those things and you do those things, you're not ready for your road test. What I need you to do as a beginning driver, drive at the safe speed limit. If it's 50, you need to be driving at 50. If it's 45, you need to be driving at 45 miles an hour. What is our learning target for success? Advice for new drivers. You need to be listening to this and you need to be sharing. Wait, can I turn right on red? You got to stop. S-T-O-P, stop first. Look at traffic to the left. Is it clear? Are there pedestrians walking? Look to the right. After you stop, then you can turn right on red. Red means stop. And the most common fault of beginning drivers is they make a right turn on red without stopping. You mean a left. If you're making a left and you have a red, red means stop. S-T-O-P. Then you're going to have a blinking red. If you have a blinking red, you still got to stop, look, when clear. What if there's no one there? Still practice that skill set. Obviously, you're going to pause and look and then make your left. Build those good habits because the minute you make an illegal turn or lane change, that's when you get a ticket. And many of you are under 24 who look at my content. And if you get a at-fault accident ticket or a moving violation, that's going to be on your record at least for 2 years. And your mom and dad will not like you because the insurance is high. Okay? So you don't want to get kicked off your parents' insurance. Real talk. Hey, this is me. Testing's in progress. I want to welcome you in. I'm your instructor. Keep those questions coming in. Let's keep going. Next, keep a lot of room. A lot of beginning drivers tailgate. You're right on top of a car. Back off. If someone hits brakes, you're going to rear end them. And then you are at fault. A lot of beginning drivers have at-fault accidents, meaning you're at fault. You were going too fast. You didn't use your blinker. You didn't yield. I have failed my driving test 6 times. Will you be able to give me some lessons? I can't afford to fail again. Reach out to me. I'm going to set up a stand store and have some digital products that you can download, and then we'll go from there. I'm 28. I have my license since I was 16, but I still find this interesting. PJ, it's always interesting because as an instructor, I always think of new ways to educate my students. And it is interesting because you don't stop learning. 18, 8, 28, 38, 48, 58, you never stop learning. And also, guys, I'm thinking about a second YouTube channel, okay? And I take my driver's test on June 12th. Wish me luck. Alexia, you're going to be fine. You look at my content. I'm covering information on the road test. You have questions, you answer it. So I'm covering information to help you prepare for your road test. If you're making a right turn, you turn in the nearest lane. Turn in the nearest lane. Keep your turn as short as possible. If you're making a left turn, the nearest lane to the line. If you make a wide turn, you're going to cut over a lane and get into an accident. If you don't know how to merge on the expressway and don't check your mirror and blind spot, you're going to cut off your car. If you don't stop at a right turn on red, you guessed it, you're going to fail. So you need to be listening to this. You need to be subscribing to the channel. And I live in France. It's all good. France drives on the right, don't they? France, they have roundabouts, don't they? Because I saw the Kardashians yesterday, and Kim Kardashian was in France. Of course, they were driving. Yes. So the principles still apply. A stop sign is a stop sign, whether you're in France, the UK, or the United States. A stop sign is universal. The speed limit is still universal. In the UK, they're driving with manuals. We drive automatics. Okay? They call it a junction. We call it an intersection. We have roundabouts. We have intersections. We have expressways, right? It's still the same fundamentals. The UK drives on the left. In America, drive on the right. In Australia, they drive on the right. Excuse me, they drive on the left. In India, they drive on the left. Okay? We drive on the left here in the UK? Yes. A lot of my subscribers and followers are from the UK, and I love it. Thank you. Let's keep going. Put in some of those questions. Now, leave room. Don't scare your parents. If you're going to scare mom and dad, they're not going to drive with you. And in the UK, the test is more involved. Here in the United States, it could be 24 hours of class, 6 drives behind the wheel, 4 hours of observation, and then you take a state test. Somewhere else in the United States, you might have to be 16, have 10 hours of driving, and have 30 hours of class. Every test is different. I'm not going to say the UK test is harder. I'm not going to say the American test is easier. Every test is different. Primarily, most of my subscribers and people who support me are in the United States. But if I get a more significant amount of people in the UK or France or Afghanistan or the Middle East or Africa or Australia, I'll start talking about some of those things because I want to help all people. And I'm blessed to have all of you here. What is our learning target? Advice for new drivers. When it comes to pedestrians, do they have the right of way? Even if they're running in the street, pedestrians always have the right of way, even if they're running in the street, because if you strike one, you're going to be going to court. Okay? So you want to always be careful in downtown areas, in parking lots. Okay? So you got to really be careful and expect people in large areas, parking lots, downtown areas. Look for pedestrians. Look for people walking by cars. And you will learn to be that defensive driver. This is me. Testing's in progress. I want to welcome you in. We have a lot of great questions. I want to continue and stay on target. So don't scare your parents. Don't scare your coach. Pedestrians do have the right of way. Pedestrians should be walking on a sidewalk. If there's no sidewalk, they should be walking against traffic. If you're riding a bike, you need to be riding with the flow of the traffic. If you're riding a bike and you are going straight, you need to be careful of drivers making right turns. Okay? It's called a right hook, where the drivers look to the left, but they don't look to the right and they hit you. If you are riding a bike and drivers are making left turns, it's called the left cross. Drivers are making left turns. They don't look. They just turn. You're coming from their left. They don't look. You're going to get hit. Also, drivers should have 3 feet of distance. Bike riders, you have a responsibility too. You need to be wearing a helmet. You need to have a reflector. You need to be wearing the proper safety equipment. You're not a car, but you're going to be treated like that people should give you at least a full lane. Got to be careful. Next, new drivers don't judge distance and speed well. From a lot of your questions, you haven't learned how to judge speed and distance well. It takes up to 10 years. There's national research by the Brain Institute that has said it takes to about age 25 for your brain to fully develop. So from 15 to 25 years. From 20 to 25, another 5 years. So that's 10 years of active brain development. What's going to happen? You're going to go through primary school. You're going to go through middle school. You're going to go through high school. You're going to go through college, 21 to 22. Some of you will drive to college. Some of you won't drive to college. They don't allow cars to freshmen on college campuses, and it costs a lot of money. So you're going to have to make that decision also with your parent. If it's value here, give it a thumbs up. I got a lot of questions. Let's get some thumbs up. That's really important. Next, they need verbal instructions. You as a beginning driver need those verbal instructions. You need to know what's going on. You need to make good decisions. You need to be told what to do. Don't assume they know everything. You may look like you know what to do, but you really don't know what to do. What is our learning target? It is new driver advice. I am a state certified driving instructor. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. We've talked about new drivers. Now we're going to talk about teen driving tips. Many of you live in how America is different from Portugal. I think we both drive, and I've had drivers from Portugal. I think they drive on the right. I could be wrong. I think they drive more manuals than here in America, and I think the roads are smaller. We have larger roads than in Portugal or the UK or India or Australia because our vehicles are larger. That's one difference. Graduated license. The driver and all passengers should be wearing seatbelts. You got to wear your seatbelts. Know how many passengers you're allowed. In some states, it could be one. In some states, it could be two. Also in North Carolina, that might not accept your state's permit. So if you're from if you're from a state in the Midwest, you might not be allowed to go to North Carolina. So if you're traveling to North Carolina, you got to do your research. Hello, how are you? Tell me where you're from. Tell me, are you a beginning driver? Are you taking your road test? Are you in the permit phase? Everyone is a little bit different. Good. Let's keep it going. Do your research. Never drive distracted because your friends will distract you. Hey, did you see that car? Did you see that billboard? Did you see that funny cat video? Your number one priority is driving. It should not be anything else. Talk to your parents if you're not sure. Tailgating. Let's talk about this. Know your speed limit. Maintain a consistent speed. Beginning drivers go really fast or really slow. Really fast or really slow. We're talking about, consider this like your personalized driver's ed lesson. All of you who are on here support. I did my driving test in Colorado. Unfortunately, I failed, but I won't give up on passing scores. 17. Oh, so close. Well, listen to my information. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I will be starting a exclusive membership group, and I'll be rolling that out within the next week. And then on the channel, we're going to be getting it monetized, and then we're going to roll out some other special. So I need you to be a channel member. So I've got to put that stuff together this week, and then we'll be able to have group sessions. I'll set up a stand store. You'll be able to download some digital products to help you. And then we can have a small mastermind group where I could talk to 4 or 5 or 6 of you. We can set it up on a Zoom call or a Google Meet. I'll have a digital calendar. You'll sign up for a time, and then I'll help. The only thing I failed on was turning slow. Plus, wrong. Yep, Everything I'm saying is normal. Beginning drivers turn in the wrong lane. Automatic failure. Beginning drivers turn too slow. You're going to get hit by cars. So, G, everything you're saying is true. And G, these are the things I'm going over. So you need to be listening to me because I'm a state certified certain instructor in the United States. I'm from the Midwest. You're from Colorado. So everything I'm explaining will tie to your test. So you need to subscribe. I haven't turned on channel memberships yet, but I will. And this will bring you value because I'm an instructor. I'm very passionate. What are our learning targets? Success. This is me, testing's in progress. I want to welcome you in, and we're talking real things because I'm trying to help all of you learn how to drive. So don't tailgate. Remain calm, collected. Do not be intimidated by a tailgater. Maintain speed. When choosing a driving school, I can give you information to help you. Talk with an adult about the different types of schools. Visit the state driver's education website. All states have them, and all countries have them. If you are not comfortable with your instructor, speak to your parent or an adult. This is a lifetime skill, and I have to tell you this. I'm a firm believer in education, and this is what I always talk about. Those of you who take the time to subscribe, and I want you to subscribe because I bring you value, you're going to learn a lot. Teen drivers and passengers. Know the number of passengers that you're required to have. Tell them put down the phones. Keep the music down. Blind spots. They are for left side, right side, front, and back. I need you to keep space. I need you to take your time. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. We've got a lot of people in here. Give it a thumbs up. I'm answering your questions. I'm giving you value. Push that like. Let's continue. Be aware of driving in blind spots, particularly 18-wheelers, big trucks. If you cannot see the truck's driver's reflection in his or her mirror, you're in their blind spot. Okay? It's called the no zones. Left side, right side, front and back. Say it with me. Left side, right side, front and back. Stay out of the no zones. If possible, you need to be passing on the left side of the truck. If possible, you need to be turning into the nearest lane. G got a score of 21. She needed 17 or under, very close. So if you look at my videos and I answer your questions, you should be good. Obey the speed limit. We've talked about this. If you go too slow, that's a warning. You could fail. If you go too slow on the expressway, you're going to generate road rage, where people are angry at you. They want to run you off the road. So you want to make sure you are driving at the speed limit, which a lot of beginning drivers don't do. If the speed limit is 70, you're driving 60. If the speed limit is 60, you're driving 50. If the speed limit is 45, you guessed it, you're driving 35. Pay attention to the speedometer. Don't stare at it. Leave early so you're not rushing. The number one reason why people speed is because they are late. What is the learning target for success? Advice for new drivers. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. This is me. See that big smile? Testing in progress. I want to welcome you in. If you're new to driving, new to the United States, or you want to learn, put your questions in. In safe conditions, use the Advanced Driver Assist System, ADAS, Technology Safe Systems called Adaptive Cruise Control, where you can adjust your adaptive cruise control. If they're going 50, the car will go about 50. If they're going 45 or 46, the car will go about 45 or 46. Left-hand turns, very important. Always use your turn signal. So if you don't turn in your blinker and you're making a left-hand turn, people think you're going straight and you're going to get hit. Turn the wheel gently. A lot of beginners overturn the wheel. They crank that wheel really hard. You're going to go in the wrong lane. Next, many crashes have been caused by drivers who drift into another lane. G, sounds like you. You drifted into another lane. That tells me as an instructor or road test prep, you're not ready to drive because you're drifting into someone's lane. You probably had good maneuverability skills, but those small mistakes are enough to cause you to fail. And you said you had a 21 and you needed a 17. So you need to clean up some of those small mistakes. You need to be subscribing to the channel. And if you see value in what I'm saying, all of you will subscribe. If you think it's not important, you're like, so it's got to bring value to you. Yield to pedestrians and vehicles who have the right of way. Pedestrians, bikes in the crosswalk. You have to look and scan traffic. If you're not looking and scanning traffic, I'm looking and scanning traffic, you're going to turn in front of a car. Failure. You're going to get hit. You're going to turn and cut off a car. Failure. You're going to get hit. So I'm telling you real life things because I see this every day. What is the learning target? Success. Advice for beginning drivers. I'm your instructor. Testing's in progress. I want to welcome you in. This is just like my online class. You're learning so much. I need a thumbs up. We got a bunch of people in here. Can a brother get a thumbs up, please? If this is bringing you value. Be prepared when merging to get your speed up. A lot of beginners go too slow when they merge out. If the speed limit is 70, you're going 50. You're going 45. Too slow. You'll have to abandon your merge, and that will be failure. Here in the United States, you need to be able to get on the expressway, mirror, turn signal, blind spot, get up to speed, and get off at the next exit. If you can't do that or you're hesitant, you're going to be marked down severely. You need to be able to make a left turn, looking, yielding, checking traffic, turning in the nearest lane. Yield to drivers on the expressway. Find a 3 to 4 second gap. A gap is a space between cars. Keep up with the speed of traffic until your exit. A lot of beginners slow way down too soon. Cars are stacking up behind us. I'm checking my mirror as an instructor because in a driver's side car, we have a driver's side mirror and a passenger side mirror. Okay? There are two mirrors. We have a brake. Okay? We don't have a steering wheel, but we have a brake in case you miss something and you're going to crash. Night driving, be aware of reduced visibility. Slow down and account for less visibility. Visibility is your ability to see. Keep the windshield clean. Be alert of other drivers, mostly under the influence, who drive at night. Do not drive when you're tired. Dim your dashboard lights. Don't stare directly into oncoming lights. Have your vehicle checked regularly if your car is equipped with advanced driver assist systems, ADAS. These systems will make you a better driver. What is our learning target? Advice for new drivers. I'm your instructor. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. I'm certified in the United States, in the Midwest. Every state has different rules for driving. Texas is different than Michigan. Michigan is different than Ohio. Ohio is different than California. California is different than Kansas. All this information is similar and it helps you understand. And it's different than Colorado. Roundabouts. They have roundabouts in the United States. They have roundabouts in the UK. They have roundabouts in France. They have roundabouts everywhere. Let's talk about roundabouts. Studies have shown roundabouts can reduce intersection crashes by 75%, according to the Institute of Highway Safety.org. I used a source. A lot of these other instructors online, they're just saying stuff. I believe in using a source. So according to the Institute of Highway Safety, You got to follow these steps. Avoid driving next to oversized vehicles in a roundabout, particularly semi-trucks. Slow down to enter the roundabout. A lot of beginners go too fast. You're going to hit the curb. Automatic failure. Enter the roundabout counterclockwise direction. Do not try to change lanes and follow the signs. Yield to other traffic in the roundabout. G, are you listening? Antonio, are you listening? If you're listening, give this a thumbs up. Proceed to the appropriate exit, signal your intent, and exit. Adverse weather and driving conditions. Listen to the weather forecast before you drive. Don't drive if there is a chance of severe weather. We have a client that drove to Texas. There's bad weather so you got to be aware. If there's bad weather in Arkansas, you might be delayed. If there's bad weather in Iowa, you might be delayed. What is your learning target? Learning target for success, advanced driver tips. I'm your instructor. Testing is in progress. I want to welcome you in. Let's continue. So in adverse weather, you want to use your low beams and use your defroster or wipers for best visibility. Visibility is your ability to see. Clear advanced driver assist systems, ADAS sensors. When it's raining, drive in the center lane. Don't drive to the right. Don't drive in the left. They're going to be driving much faster. You're going to have standing puddles of water. When it's raining, drive in the center lane. Avoid the runoff and potential hydroplaning. Avoid driving through deep puddles. I just talked about that. June. June is National Safety Month. June is also National Click It or Ticket. Wear your seatbelt. June is also sad. We're against drivers who are driving drunk because we're losing too many youth. Let's talk about what makes a good driving instructor. They're patient. They're nice. They don't yell at you when you make a mistake. They give directions in advance. Example, at the light, I need you to turn left. They use hand directions. I need you to go left. I need you to go right. They don't make last-minute decisions. For example, turn right. No, turn left. They make conversation with you. They use visual demonstrations. For example, demonstrating by having to sit in a seat and move the seat until we can't see her in the mirror or him in the mirror. They show us how to look for a blind spot. In class, they use the steering wheel to help us understand turning hand over hand into the turn, turning hand over hand out. They're considerate. Good driving instructors are considerate. They share stories. I had a student who didn't look left. We almost got hit. I had to squeeze the brake and turn the wheel. You have to look left, right, left. If you don't look, you're going to pull out in front of a car. That's that right turn on ramp we were talking about. They're a fun teacher. I have fun. I enjoy teaching driver's education. They give good instruction. On the road, they're very calm. They give you advice on how to improve. They give positive reinforcement. They always remind you to do things constantly. I'm always trying to help you get better. They remind us to do things correctly. Allow you to fix your mistakes and figure out what you did wrong. Because if you don't figure out what you're doing wrong, you're going to keep making that same mistake. Maybe you turn in front of cars. That's dangerous. Maybe you go too fast in the turn. That's dangerous. Maybe you hit the gas too hard when trying to parallel park. That is dangerous. My driving license instructor told me I need to improve with turning in the lanes. Speed is good. Hand control is good. So you got to go into the turns a little slower. and then accelerate out. And make sure you're in the correct lane. G, I'm bringing you value. Give this a thumbs up. Put a thumbs up. In the classroom, they interact with students. They let you have time to work on the homework. They use hand signals. They make jokes and make you feel comfortable. What is the learning target? Success. Advice for new drivers. G has given us some examples. I've told her some things that need to be done. Hopefully you're she or he, but I told you some things you need to do to prepare you for driving. There's no awkward silence. Good instructors are always giving you tips, always giving you information. They treat you like an adult. In a classroom, a teacher that is funny uses diagrams. Let's talk about the history and facts about driver's education. Facts about driver's education. Driver's education is a formal program or course designed to teach individuals how to operate a motor vehicle safely. May I ask, the lane kind of confusing that splits. Okay, if you have a warning sign and it kind of splits to the right, this means right lane ends. You got to get to the left. If you're driving and the sign and the line clicks in to the left, this means left lane ends. You need to be able to know early what lane you're supposed to get into, because if you're hesitant, then you're going to show failure. You're going to show the tester that you don't know what you're doing. Good questions. Driver's education typically includes both classroom instruction and behind the wheel. I do both. The goal of driver's education is to prepare new drivers for the challenges of the road and to help reduce the number of traffic accidents and fatalities. Driver's education courses such as traffic laws, defensive driving techniques, the dangers of distracted driving, and impaired driving. Many high schools offer driver's education as a course that is part of the curriculum, and students may be required to complete the program for a grade. So it is serious. Some driver's education programs offer advanced courses for experienced drivers. I'll be coming out with those soon, such as defensive driving or skid control. Driver's education requirements vary by state and by country, with different jurisdictions having their own regulations and standards, such as the UK versus the United States, such as the UK versus India, such as the United States versus Australia. Research has shown that completing a driver's education course can lead to safer driving and behaviors that reduce crash among new drivers. I want to say thank you. It was an awesome class. I will be going live tomorrow. Bye.